What's up guys, welcome to my anime art channel. My name is Tawheed Safi. This is my disaster of a room and today we're going to be drawing Goku Black. So let's get started. After we get all our supplies together, we'll do a little prep work before the drawing. My copic markers just came in, so today I'm going to prep by playing around with different color combinations. For Goku Black, it's really important that I find the right combination of gray to use for his hair and for his clothes. After we find the right markers, we'll get a fresh sheet of paper and begin the drawing process. We'll start off by drawing an X. At the center of the X, we'll draw a crease between his eyes, and closely but separately, we'll start to draw his eyelid, then the bottom of his eyes, and finally his eyebrow. His right eye is going to be raised higher than his left, so we're going to raise the right eyelid to the level of his left eyebrow. We'll draw a line with a hook at the end beneath each eye. We'll finish the details beneath his eyes once we start the penning process. We'll work our way down the reference line to draw the nose. Pay special attention to leaving some distance between the crease between his eyes and his nose. His mouth is going to span between the center of each eyeball. I'm a moron, so I withdrew his mouth thinking I was making a correction, but I actually had it right the first time. We'll draw an arc through his teeth and add a few lines for extra detail. We'll add a few lines above his eyebrows to help create a stern expression. Notice the line above his right eyebrow is raised higher than the one above his left eye. Using the red reference line, we're going to begin drawing his jawline. First we'll draw his chin, then we'll work our way down the side of his face and his jaw. Be careful not to draw his face too wide or too narrow. We'll draw his ears between his jawline and his eyes. So I've got to tell you, my goal for this drawing was to finish within 1.5 hours. I got the copic markers to work with, so I was hoping they'd help me speed things up. So far we're just under 20 minutes in and we finished the face, so I think we're making pretty good time. We'll draw each side of the neck with a slight curve. His shirt collar will be slightly slanted to help make the image more interesting. Using the reference line, we can see that the left side of his collar will be higher than the right side. Sketching has always been the funnest part of the drawing process for me, whereas having the shade or color to finish the sketch has always been more of a chore. I might change my tune once I get more proficient with these copic markers though. We're going to take a bottom-up approach to drawing his hair. Alright, 44 minutes in and we're done with the sketch, making pretty good time so far. Now it's time to start the penning process. You can see I made a mistake and smudged the top of his hair. You've got to be really careful once you start using ink. Remember, we drew a few lines under and above his eyes. Now we can add some more details to them. Okay, it took me more than 13 minutes to finish the inking process. I actually thought it was going to take closer to 5, so this is definitely one area that I can improve. You know what, I actually forgot to add his earring, which would have been a huge mistake. So I'm really glad I caught that before I started coloring. For the hair I used C10, which is the darkest shade of gray in my marker set. I ordered the Copic Sketch 72B set, which unfortunately doesn't include the black or the white markers. Those are included in the Copic A set. I was afraid not having the black was going to be a big problem, but so far I'm really liking the way the hair is looking with this dark gray. That's great news for me because I really didn't want to shell out another $350 for a few more markers. So I'm at an hour and 20 minutes now. At this point there's no way I'm going to finish this in an hour and a half. I definitely took my time though, since this is my first time using Copic markers, so I'm hoping it'll be faster during my next video. For his kimono, we'll start with N5, which is a medium gray. Then we'll go over the whole thing with N3. And go over with the N5 one more time. At this point, everything is blending together very nicely. For the shirt, we'll start with N9, which is a very dark gray. For the lighter portion of the shirt, we'll use N7. For the face, I chose to go over the whole thing using E31. We'll create some shadows on his face using E13. And then we'll go over everything with E31 one more time. And repeat the process with E13. For the darkest shade of his face, I chose to use E35, which is a cinnamon color. Then I use my blending marker to create some highlights on the right side of his face. Finally, I'll use dark green and bright yellow to color his earring. Again, I'll use my blender to create some highlights on the earring. And I'll use my drawing pencil to add some light shading to his teeth. And it looks like it took me a grand total of 2 hours to finish this drawing. Looking at the lap times, I think I spent more time than I should have during the inking process and when I was coloring his hair. I also think I can manage to save a few minutes during the sketching process, so I think a good goal for my next tutorial will be to finish within an hour and 40 minutes. Working towards that goal of 1.5 hours. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this one turned out, and I'm really excited to use these markers again. Well guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.